Ah! Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and bienvenue and welcome to year 6 of Let's Play 1001 Games. Boy, was that an embarrassing French hello. A French hello because I am Canadian, if you haven't learned that already, and in Canada, our second language is French. And I don't know why I decided to give that weird intro, but I did. Welcome back to year 6 once again. We are in the 500s now, which means we've been on this quest for over 5 years now, and we are halfway through, a little over halfway through actually. And today, to celebrate, we're going to be playing the arcade classic known as Galaxian. This is an arcade shooter released in 1979 by Namco. One of the early gaming companies, Namco. You know, they're sort of a classic golden era arcade company. In this game, the player assumes the control of Galaxip, a starship that is on a mission to protect Earth, as per usual. There's usually some kind of Earth spaceship that has to defend Earth. And as you can see, it's kind of a Space Invaders-like game, but obviously it has moving enemies and full color, which are two things that it was heralded for as sort of, you know, revolutionary when it actually came out. It's basically like Space Invaders, but advanced. And it was, in fact, Namco's answer to Space Invaders. So we are the Galaxians, and our mission is to destroy Earth. And if you want to win, you're going to have to destroy us. So without further ado, let's go ahead and slap some quarters in here and give this one a shot here today. So I do always like, once in a while, coming back to these classic golden era arcade games. And I don't know what it is about these games, but it's like the simplicity of them. Oh god, this is actually like quite tricky. Oh god, I didn't shoot in time. It's funny because these games are simple, yet they're usually actually very hard. They're sometimes much harder than modern games. I feel like game developers have gotten much more forgiving as years have gone on. They're like, you know what, we don't have to absolutely, totally punish our players. But back in the day, they wanted your quarters, they wanted them bad, and they were like, people only have like a 10-second attention span, right? So let's just kill them quickly. I'm dead already! Oh god! Alright, I don't know if we're even going to pass level 1, but I'm going to give it my all. So obviously this game is based on Space Invaders. It's, again, is Namco's answer to Space Invaders, but they wanted to make the game more sort of complex and challenging. And the developer of this game specifically said he looked to Star Wars to look for... He wanted to sort of create the feeling of being in like a space battle, like a space dogfight. And so that's why the enemies move and stuff. Fun fact about this game, originally, the developers were actually going to model the alien ships after TIE fighters from Star Wars. So it was going to be like really almost directly a Star Wars game. We're doing okay here, actually. I don't want to jinx it, but oh god, back off! I think the trick is, when they start flying at you, you either have to take them out quickly or just straight up avoid them. Which it's when they get real close and you're still trying to engage them, that's when trouble ensues. Now if this game looks familiar to you, by the way, like maybe you've been watching my channel since the beginning, and you're watching this and you're kind of like, wait, Jay, didn't you play this game before? I did actually play the sequel to this game called Galaga, which is famous in its own right. I'm using a really clicky joystick, by the way. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I'm going to try and move the joystick farther away from the mic so it doesn't pick it up, but I have like a really clicky joystick today. But yes, we played Galaga, which is a sequel to this. And so if you're looking at this and this looks really familiar, it's just because you're remembering Galaga, is my guess. Man, I remember in Galaga we actually made it past a couple of levels here, though. But this is actually proving quite challenging. Funnily enough, there is a Galaxian 2, but it is not a sequel to this game. Galaxian 2 is basically just a port of this game. So I think Coleco ported this game to like a mini tabletop version, and they called it Galaxian 2 because it had 2 players, but it is actually not a sequel. So if you're ever out in an arcade and you see Galaxian 2, you can turn to your friend and say, hey, Gaming Jay told me that's not actually a sequel, that's just Galaxian 1. And then your friends will be suitably impressed with your arcade knowledge. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just trying to, like, avoid enemies when they come flying at me. Oh, get away from me. That's like the commander's ship there, that yellow one. Whenever he comes to attack, he brings, like, 2 of his friends. Let's see if I can snipe him. Oh, yeah, we got the commander. Oh, god, but we got a suicide run of a grunt. Okay, we're actually not doing too bad. This might be the run where we see the next level. Boom. Boom. You can only shoot 1 at a time, so it's actually, like, a little nerve-wracking when the enemy's flying at you, just unleashing, you know, a barrage of bullets, because it's like you have to sort of time your response shot. Oh, god. Ah, like we missed. Oh, shoot. No. We're so close to passing this level. Okay, come on. We gotta do this. We gotta do this. Just stay still. If you guys could all just stay still. Oh, god. Oh, god. Okay. Okay. Oh, we got him! Yes! I passed a level! That's a huge achievement for a Golden Era game. Oh, and we're just back to... Okay, so there are no levels to explore. So basically, this is the whole game. This is it. You know, originally I was sort of debating whether we should check this out on other platforms. I think we definitely are today because, you know, there's only one level. There's no bosses to explore. We're gonna run out of stuff to talk about. And I don't mind this being a shorter video because it's a shorter game in terms of materials. Oh god, they're really coming for me though this time. They're like, you defeat us once, shame on you. Defeat us twice though, shame on us. You're going down. All right, let me slap in 2 more quarters. We'll give this arcade edition a little bit more screen time, and then I don't even know what edition I'm gonna pop to next. It'll be as much a actually it'll be more of a mystery to me than you. Because for you guys, you can just see it in the game description. I'm sure I've decided by the time I upload this. But for me, I don't even know. I don't even know. Will it be Atari? Will it be Commodore? Will it be ColecoVision? Maybe we should check out Galaxian too, although I don't have a second player to play with me, so that's kind of boring. So we're not going to do that. What edition are we going to try, guys? I don't know. I don't know. Place your bets. Although, again, you guys know what edition, so I don't even know why I'm telling you to bet. I want to, like, snipe this yellow guy, because he's quite problematic. So the enemies do have different attack patterns. Oh, come on, yellow guy. No! The enemies do have different attack patterns. The purple guys attack different than the blue guys, who attack different than the yellow guys. And the red guys are just like shills. They just work for the yellow guys. Ah, you bastard! Alright, so here's our last go at Galaxian for the arcade. So I guess since this is kind of a light game today, a very simple game, we can talk about the series as a whole. So as I said at the beginning of today's video, you know, we are in year 6. I have tons and tons of great games still lined up to play. If you have been watching my series from the beginning, you know I'm not going through the book in a chronological order. And that's intentional. I did that very intentionally, because if I had gone through chronologically, we would have played all these games from the 70s and 80s already, you know, and now in year 6, we'd be playing games from like the early 2000s and stuff. We'd have no retro games left. So I've intentionally tried to space the retro games out to make sure that even in year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9, we're going to be playing them. And if you are new to the channel, this is a 10-year journey that you have joined us for. By my calculations, it's going to take me 10 years to play this book. But hey, we're on year 6, so we're making good progress. Anyway, all right. So this has been Galaxian on the arcade. Let's hop to another version. All right, so here we are on the Nintendo Famicom. Kind of an odd switch. This is by Namcot. I don't know if that's a typo or what. But Galaxian here is 2 players. I assume you just take turns. But we're going to go ahead and give it a shot here. So you can... The bullets seem to go a little faster than in the arcade. I was going to even say, I almost felt like you could shoot more than 1 shot at a time, but I think you can still only shoot 1 shot at a time. But the bullets just move faster. Oh, come on. Oh, I can't get that yellow guy. He's too far. They're bobbing and weaving. There we go. All right, we got one of the commanders. I mean, to the credit of the developers of Galaxian, Galaxian is a clone of Space Invaders. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Alright, well, they suicided onto me. Galaxian is a clone of Space Invaders, but at the same time, like, it does feel quite different. Like, in Space Invaders, all the enemies are the same, and they don't really they speed up as, like, more of them die, but that's kind of about it. Oh god. The fact that the enemies are lunging at you, the fact that they're, like, commander units that will attack with, like, bodyguards and stuff, actually changes the mechanic of the game quite a bit. Like, you intentionally want to take out those bodyguards as quickly as you can. Because, like, we've taken out all the heavy hitters. So, like, in a way... Oh, God. In a way, I was going to say maybe I should just focus on killing the purple guys and leave the green guys for last. Boom! Oh, see, we passed the level so easily on the Famicom. Much easier than in the arcades. I find arcade games are just, like, that much harder. But it is interesting to think about how pretty much throughout all of gaming history, like, game developers have been copying one another, you know? And actually, I was kind of thinking about this before today's video. Are genres just what we call it when a game has been copied so many times that there's just too many copies out there to keep track? Like, think about it. When Doom and Wolfenstein 3D first came out, they were kind of like nothing else. You know, today we call the genre first-person shooters. But the first games that tried to copy Doom were called Doom clones, right? Like, they were literally, developers were like, hey, Doom did well, let's make Doom. So they were trying to copy Doom, and that's precisely sort of what they did. But eventually, there were enough Doom clones that we came up with a new name, first-person shooters. You know, when Dune 2, the first sort of modern real-time strategy game, emerged, it was kind of its own thing. There was no other game quite like it. We didn't have a word for it. Oh god, you bastard. We didn't really have a word for real-time strategy. And Dune 2 was kind of called Dune 2. And then the creators of Warcraft, you know, Blizzard, copied Dune 2 and just made Warcraft. And then after a while, like, the term real-time strategy came about. I mean, think of Mario, you know. Every single platformer game, we'll do another round of this. Every single platformer game that exists is basically just copying Mario, you know? It's just that there are so many games copying Mario that we don't call them Mario clones, we call them platformers. So in a way, you know, every time a new genre is created, it always starts with like one or two games. There's always one or two games that are totally unlike anything that anyone has played before. And then what happens is other game developers and other game companies try to copy that unique game. And then eventually they come up with a name for it. And then that is the birth of a genre. Like, I think that's like, do you guys agree? Like, I think that's a fair description of how genres are born and what they are. But it's kind of interesting to think that without copying, without other people trying to say, literally, I'm just going to copy what those guys are doing and try and do the same thing, or maybe even do it better, you know, like they say, hey, like that was a good first attempt, but I have some ideas to improve on this. But without people out there literally trying to copy other people's hard work, we wouldn't have genres of video games. I don't know, kind of an interesting thought, I thought. But, you know, it was my own thought, so maybe I'm a little biased. Cannot get this red guy. All right, red guy, you and me, man. You and me, red guy, let's do this. Oh, he's circling back around. He's coming in for the kill. Oh, we missed him. Oh, we missed him again. This is Lord Vader. Lord Vader is in that TIE fighter. Luke, you have to take him. We did it. We did it. I think in the sequel to this, I think in Galaga, you could actually move up and down a little bit. But yes. A fun fact about this game, it was only ever released in Japan. So I said we're playing Galaxian on the Nintendo Famicom, and I am indeed mean the Famicom. I don't mean the NES. I don't mean the Nintendo Entertainment System that we played in North America or Europe. I mean the Japanese-only Famicom system, which stands for Family Computer, which is a weird name to give to your video game console, but it was the early days of gaming consoles. Nobody really knew. Or were they computers? Were they gaming machines exclusively? You know, like, I think a lot of developers kind of thought they were like home computers. And like, I think Nintendo, they released games, or not games, but software you could use on your Famicom to like do your taxes and like get weather reports and stuff. Like, it's some of the early Famicom software is weird. They even have like a keyboard attachment in Japan. Because it's like they didn't know. You know, nobody had drawn up the boundaries You know, like speaking of how genres are born, think of how the beginning of gaming consoles. Nobody 100% knew if these things should only have games. You know, like how far should they go with computers? Are we competing with the, you know, the Apple II and stuff? Nobody really knew. People just did random stuff and they threw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what would stick. And Mario's what stuck. And everyone tried to copy Mario. Oh, I can't believe we survived that. I'm on level 2, right? I think I'm on level 2. We get to level 3. Oh, we got to level 3! Okay, that's a fair achievement, I think. Okay, we have to switch consoles because this is just going to go on forever. Okay, you know what? We've tried the arcade. We've seen what they were playing in Japan. Let's see what they were playing in North America. You know, every single golden era arcade game at some point or the other was ported to the good old Atari 2600. Old faithful. She wasn't the most powerful console on the block. You know, speaking about, like, you know, home consoles and do they compete with, you know, Apple IIs and stuff, the Atari 2600 definitely, you couldn't do your taxes on the Atari 2600. They made no illusions about that. But Old Faithful, they did port, like, pretty much everything in existence to her. So this is our last life on the Famicom. Let's see if we can, let's just see if we can pass this level. But if not, we're popping over for a little peek at what we poor suckers in you know, North America were doing. Well, the Japanese had this going on. We're so close to passing this level too. I feel like I'm really getting a hang for this game. Like, oh god, never mind. I spoke too soon. Alright, so that was Galaxian on the Famicom. Real quickly, let's just see what it was like on the 2600. Good old Atari. Actually, you know what? I'm somewhat impressed here from this opening demo. The colors actually don't look too bad. The movement doesn't look too bad. The enemies are flying around at you. I think like most like many Atari games, even though the graphics and everything looks far more primitive, the gameplay might be spot on. So let's go ahead and give this a shot here. All right. Kill the aliens. The shooting is actually way faster than in the arcades. I don't know if it's faster in the Famicom. Somewhat comparable. Let's see if we can kill the boss guys. Oh, they're way easier to kill. So the enemies actually move far less, which makes the game easier? Interesting. Come on. Alright. So, oddly enough, the game is a lot easier than either the arcade or the Famicom. So, I would say the Famicom is more faithful to the arcade in, like, looks and probably play, even though it is also a bit easier. But the Atari is just straight up easier. Wow, that was so easy. Let's see if it gets harder. Okay, they're gonna start sending more guys at us faster. You know what, to be fair, I know I've only been playing this for like 2 seconds, but I kind of feel like this might be my favorite implementation of the game. Because hear me out on this. When it's easier to shoot the enemies, when they're slower, you get to the higher levels more often, and in the higher levels, more enemies are diving at you, and so the action is you having to like dive and outmaneuver enemies. And it, you know, if this game was developed to simulate what it was like to be in a space battle, I mean, the arcade version definitely did simulate what it was like to be in a space battle because I died instantly, which is what would happen if I ever ended up in a space battle. But in terms of like fun space battles, I almost want to say the Atari is the best. Wow, color me impressed. I did not think that today was gonna go this way. Again, I went into today's video thinking I'm just gonna, oh, we got him! Oh my god, I can't believe that worked. I just thought we were gonna play the arcade version today. I had no formal plans to try this on other systems. But you know, since there's only one level, once I realized that, I was like, all right, we might want to branch out from just the arcade, or today's going to be either a super short or super boring video. Wow, I got the commander there while he was flying at me. This is crazy. Oh, there's so much action happening now. Come on, get the commander before he attacks. Oh, he's going to attack any second. Any second. Get him. Oh, the purple guy got in my way. Oh, we got him. Wow, this is crazy. I'm legit having a lot of fun with this. Quite interesting. Again, the arcade version wasn't not fun. I just died so quickly. So in the arcade edition, the bullets kind of hone in on you. I think in the Famicom they were doing that too, although I literally already forget. I have like gaming amnesia. Whatever happened 5 seconds ago, I don't remember. Video games have literally rotted my brains. Yeah, this is crazy. Oh my god, this is so action-packed I can't keep up. Oh, Galaxian! They're like, here's a seizure for you, buddy. They're like, just generate all the colors on the screen. Give players, you know, light-induced seizures. Wow. Anyway, this has been Galaxian here. Galaxian is one of the games in the book, 1,000 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die. And, you know, for those people who've been following my channel from the beginning, you know, but maybe other people don't, that I'm working my way through that book. So we are about 502 games in, I think, if my math is correct. In terms of whether this is a game that you must play before you die, I mean, I think Galaxian is iconic enough that if you've never tried it, it might warrant a shot. Especially if you're into the old arcade games. Shockingly though, and I don't think I've ever done this, but I'm gonna recommend the Atari 2600 edition. I have very limited exposure. I've played the arcade, the Famicom, and the Atari, but I'm legit having a lot more fun with this version. The fact that the missiles don't hone in on you gives me much more of a shot of getting these guys. The enemies are a bit slower, my bullets are a bit faster, and you might think that makes the game, like, just blatantly easier. And I guess it kind of does, like, I'm getting to farther levels. But the fun is in dodging, like, multiple enemies coming for me at once. Like, I'm legit having fun when the enemies are all coming at once at me. So, like, I've never done this, but I am recommending the Atari 2600 edition of this game if you're going to play it as a modern gamer. That's my own personal opinion. You know, you might have reasons for thinking the arcade is better, but that's just my thought. But what do you guys think of Galaxian here? Surely it's a game that many of you must have played back in the day, so maybe you have memories or tips. Oh my god, I got them both as I died. Now that's an ending. But yes, you might have tips or tricks, or maybe you have a favorite system that this game came out on. Again, there's many other systems. There's a Commodore, ZX Spectrum, there's Atari 8-bit, Atari 5200, in fact, not just the 2600. You know, what is your favorite system of Galaxian? Let me put that out to you guys, because I'm sure you all have different favorites. Maybe some of you prefer the arcade and so on. But yes, feel free to share your memories of Galaxian in the comments down below. And as always, whatever you think of the game, whatever you think of my recommendation, hopefully today was fun and interesting for you. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And again, because we are in year 6, if you guys want to help spread the word of my channel, share it, post it, you know, post this video places, tell your friends, your family. That is one thing that you guys can always do to help support the channels, help spread the word what we're doing here. So if you are so obliged, I tip my hat to you in thanks. But if you don't feel like doing it, that's fine too. Anyway, until next time, my friends, you all take care of yourselves and keep on gaming, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Boom! Boom! My god. I'm like way better at this than any other Atari game I've played in my life. Where you been all my life, Galaxian?